to another episode of Real Debates. In this episode, I will be facing Jeremy Branch from Movies Are Terrible, and Ian will be our host. But before we get into the match, and I pass it down to Ian to moderate, I wanted to ask my panel, how are they doing today? So Jeremy, how are you feeling about the match today?
I feel good about the match. I'm excited about our topic. I don't want to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I'm very excited because these are two movies that I'm a really big fan of, and I had a really good time debating Disaster Artist and Ali with you last time. Felt like Ian was a very fair and just judge, so hopefully that earns me some brownie points. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. And Ian, our judge today, last week's winner, how are you doing today?
In the geek world, I am excited about this because I'm a big fan of these two movies. I can go either way. In the real world, I'm just going to stay in the geek world. I don't want to even go back over there right now. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, our debate's actually going to be fun.
Yeah, yes. We're not going to argue like two old babies. Not talking about anyone in particular, and we're not going to say
no talking over everybody.
Exactly. We're not going to encourage any particular groups either. But, we're going to pass this down to Ian to moderate. So, Ian, what do you have for us today in this match?
All right, everybody. Today we are arguing The Dark Knight versus Logan. And before we start, Alex, do you want to denounce the Joker real quick before we start? I don't know why I thought about that. But yes, Alex is going to be going against The Dark Knight. Alex is going to be for The Dark Knight, and Jeremy is going to be going for Logan. Both top seller movies, man. DC and Marvel universes. Not even just great comic book movies, but just great movies in general, man. Are you guys ready for this?
What do you want me to call the Joker? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you want me to call this?
Let me tweet real quick. Alex will not denounce the Joker. What a jerk.
What do you want me to call him? Just stand by, Joker. Stand by.
Just stand by, Joker. Oh my goodness.
God.
Alex loves the Joker.
I hope I don't get canceled.
To be fair, Heath Ledger's Joker was probably the best Joker of all time. I do like the new one as well, but like that for that performance in that movie, I'm gonna give him props, man. But also to give your movie props, Hugh Jackman, holy crap, he gave the performance of his life in that movie. Yeah. So, like I said, as the moderator, I can go either way. These are both A+ movies. That's my personal opinion. So these guys have in this debate, I'm going to be asking questions like, what makes your movie great? Why is your movie better? What's wrong with the other person's movie? And then we're going to have closing statements at the end. So to start, we are going to flip a coin, which I have a coin, and it's a penny. And this is going to be my two-face coin right here. All right, here we go. Call it in the hand. What you got, Alex?
Heads.
Heads. All right. So that makes you have tails, Jeremy, and it is heads. All right.
Well
so, Alex, you are going to start us off, buddy.
Okay.
Why do you love this movie, and what makes it great? Go!
Okay, so Logan, this movie shows us two sides of Logan that we have never seen before. One side, we see the vicious Logan that we have been reading about in comic books, where in this movie he's literally taking people's heads off. You see blood everywhere. You see a vitriol Wolverine beast-like character, and it's expressed through this movie, and it's so accurate to the old man Logan's story as the character evolves and progresses through the story. What I loved about the story as well is that second side I was referring to when I said that you have two sides, is that this is the first time where we see Logan with limitations. He realizes that he cannot be like his old self and like fight people and get shot and it just brushes off. Like, no, he has to sit there and take it and heal slowly. But as he knows that he's healing slowly, he's also dying in the process. And he's juggling. You see a mental battle in him, juggling, okay, how do I survive? But how do I settle with the fact that I am going to eventually die at some point? And then you see the supporting characters support him in this role with Professor X, and then you see his daughter, X-23. Even though you did not see much of interaction with them, with the small amount of time that they had, you felt that father-daughter bond, which I'll get further into the debate, but There was a kindred spirit that they touched on perfectly in this movie from two people who've never met one another. So the thing I love about this movie is that they humanized him, and we see him go crazy, and he's having a mind battle within himself, dealing with the fact that I am not invincible anymore. Kind of like Ogard.
You really want to go there? Okay.
No. I didn't mean that as a. I'm saying like
cool.
the dying aspect of Ogard. You know.
Point taken off. Okay, cool.
Wow.
Just kidding. Please watch our Old Guard debate over there on Jeremy's channel, Old Guard versus Power, so you can understand the joke right there. All right. So, yeah, you got us 5 seconds to spare. Good job, brother. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I like how you talked about this is a new take on Logan, and we're having different struggles as well. All right. Jeremy, tell me why that The Dark Knight is a better tell me why The Dark Knight is the movie that you picked and why it's great. Ready? Go!
All right, so first of all, not to disparage Logan. I think that's a fantastic movie. We're talking about which of the two is a better movie. Logan is awesome, so I'm not disparaging it. I do just want to say that The Dark Knight is not a great superhero movie. It's not a great Batman movie. It's just great. I mean, the same can be said about Logan until the end, but we'll circle back around to that. So The Dark Knight is a great movie that tackles real-world issues, but it stays true to the character's comic book roots. Like, this is definitely Batman, although it's set in a Gotham that's much more like our world. It grounds it in reality, and by using Chicago for Gotham, it gives us a very realistic take on the city as opposed to the sound stages and the Tim Burton movies, and it really expands the scope. It makes it this big, huge crime epic, similar to maybe Michael Mann's Heat. You know, it's a superhero movie in name sort of only, but it explores some really interesting themes. It has very impressive technical aspects, and the character development is exceptional. So I'm going to touch on all three of those points, but real quick overview. This is a movie that is kind of a post 9/11 allegory. Many people have pointed this out. Batman uses his wealth and power to kind of fight crime. In a way, you can kind of look at him as a stand-in for the United States. Well, Joker represents anarchy and terror, and he has no real objective. He's not motivated by money. In fact, you know, there's the really iconic line from Michael Caine as Alfred when he says, "Some men aren't looking for anything logical like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn." Mm-hmm. So how do you, as this symbol of hope, how do you, fight against this thing that only wants to make you look bad? And that's kind of the whole thing is like...
All right, stop, shut up, that's enough. All right. Cool. Man, that was a good take as well, man. You talked about the realistics of your movie. That's like, if Batman was real, this would be... If he was running around Chicago, this is what it would really be. And you talked about the great symbolic elements as well that... coming after 9/11 as well, the symbolic, subliminal messages for our society and stuff like that. I like that. This might be the first round ever that I think that they're both tied up. I think you both made amazing points, and I am undecided. Let's go to round 2. All right, since Alex started that first round right there, we're going to go to Jeremy. Jeremy, why is your movie better? Ready? Hold on 1 second, sorry. Reset. Ready? Go!
So, as I talked about the themes a little bit, it's really like Batman wants to be a symbol of accountability. Joker wants to prove that humanity is inherently ugly by doing these like really twisted social experiments, right? When the movie opens up and there's that heist scene, it does several things really well in that moment. It sets the stage for this being a realistic take on the character. It lets us know what the stakes are, and it shows this is the introduction to the Joker. This is the calling card that you were expecting after the last movie, and it does not disappoint. Christopher Nolan wrote this, and along with that comes a certain pedigree. You know, him and his brother co-wrote it. He directed it. The cinematography by Wally Pfister is actually really, really good, and as I said, the scope is huge. It's got an amazing score by Hans Zimmer. It's iconic, it's recognizable, it's powerful, and if you listen to it again, I think you'll really appreciate just how strong the music is in this movie. It's got a powerhouse cast. Obviously, Heath Ledger, who won Best Supporting Actor for his role as the Joker, but But that's not it. It's got all sorts of great characters, from Bruce, Alfred, Lucius Fox, Commissioner Gordon, Rachel, Harvey Dent, and then again the Joker. Like, he is such a. There's not even a need to really go into it because everybody knows what a fantastic role that was, to the point that he won in the Academy. And Batman, The Dark Knight, is the reason why we now have room for movies like Logan to be in the Academy Awards. Because if you remember, it got snubbed for Best Picture, and everybody was like, what the hell? Comic book movies don't get the love they deserve. Lo and behold, here we are now several years later, and Logan is able to get nominated for Best Picture due to the groundwork laid by Christopher Nolan. It's an amazing movie, and that's the biggest things for me right now. Like the opening heist, I feel like I'm kind of going over the same.
Stop! That is enough. It is enough. I'm cutting you off. You are done. Shut up. Okay. So, all right, that was a good take, man. He's telling us about the production, the music, the cinematography, the amazing writing, and a little bit of a nice, Jeremy's such a nice guy, but a nice shot at your movies, talking about it. His open the doors for yours. Wow. Are you going to take that disrespect, Alex?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Oh, he doesn't think you're ready for this jelly. Okay, here we go. Alex, what makes your movie better? Ready? Go!
So, unlike, The Dark Knight, I feel like the Logan movie has a lot more memorable moments with our characters than we do The Dark Knight. Because if you take the Joker out of the movie, you just got some weird criminals who are pretending to be bad, but they can't take down the Batman. But it only took one movie, they only took Joker one movie to really level Gotham. But within Logan, it's an individual story dealing with his supporting characters and fighting basically a main villain who's trying to kill him, but also create another version of him and take all these little kid mutants. I said earlier that this movie had a lot of memorable moments. One of the biggest memorable moments I love about this movie, that scene where Patrick Stewart dies, Professor X, and Logan has to bury him. Logan, this is the first time you see Logan just shook, like what the hell? Like, how do I do this? And then now I have my daughter who's trying to comfort me, but I don't even know how to handle that. And he takes his frustration out on a truck that doesn't mean anything because he lost the closest thing that he had to a father. Another memorable moment, a huge action scene where they're running in the forest and him and his daughter are taking down every single goon that's in front of them. The dialogue between Logan and Patrick Stewart in that scene where they're meeting up with that black family was crazy because within moments they accepted them for who they were, even though they knew that they were different and they weren't supposed to be in this area. Even when that family died and Logan sees his very clone, he lets his clone walk past him because he realizes that he doesn't know if he can handle this clone. By the end of that scene, that very man that he was protecting...
Silence! 2 minutes is up. Okay. Alex, chill out. Calm down. We're done. That is the end of your take. Stop talking, okay? Zip it. No more talking, okay? Alex, very good round, man. You fought that very well, brother. You were talking about, there's more memorable moments. You were talking about him fighting himself pretty much. And then dialogue. He brought up more iconic moments in this movie. He didn't talk much about the cinematography, but he talked about the iconic stuff that we do remember. So, Alex, well fought. Well fought. And off the record, how did it make you feel as a black man?
That motherfucker is annoying.
And you're fired.
All right. Little joke, man. If you watch this show, man, he's always got to bring it there. We'll talk about Bug's Life or something. And as a black man, as they got through the fields,
I declare TKO. I win this round. I win this whole debate.
All right. All right, round 3, man. All right. So we went with Jeremy this round, so we're going to go with Alex this time. Alex, I want you to tell me what's wrong with The Dark Knight. What makes The Dark Knight the lesser of the better movie right here? What makes your movie better than The Dark Knight? Ready? A go!
So, The reason why I say Logan is the best movie in comparison to The Dark Knight, which I love The Dark Knight. Logan is an individual story about him. This movie, The Dark Knight, if you didn't have the Joker, you have some I wouldn't call them senseless criminals because they're pretty smart, but it took one criminal to level Gotham in a way that they never could. The inconsistency that I did see about The Dark Knight is that how is it that the Joker has not died from any of these I'm talking about these criminals have government officials under them, and he's still treating them like his bitches. Like, it's just crazy to me how they allowed a clown to literally level Black Gotham and put Batman in his place where Batman was about to bitch up and say, you know what, I'm Batman, Bruce Wayne is Batman. But when you look at Logan, even though he's dying, he's still running ahead to face the music knowing that he's still going to die. One of the final scenes in that whole movie that I was about to touch on in my last segment is that moment where he dies, he tells his daughter, you don't have to fight anymore.
You don't have to fight anymore.
What memorable moment do you have in Dark Knight that's that touching in that moment? You don't have that at all. What? Rachel dies, so he cries over it, and then and then the credits start. Like, really? Like, man, you didn't love her. You didn't give a damn about her. You saved Harvey. So yes, there is some inconsistencies about The Dark Knight that I don't feel like they're that memorable in comparison to the Logan. Logan, literally, again, it's an individual story. If you take Logan out that movie, it's not a movie. But he's the centerpiece of that movie. You take Joker out that movie, it's an average Tim Burton Batman movie that's okay at best.
Okay, enough. We've heard enough. Okay? Hush. Hush. Mr. President. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Good points you've made right there. Good points you made. You said, listen, he hit you with the old guard trick. You know, if you take Joker out of that movie, what do you got? It's a very good point he had. It's a very good point. You know, he made a good point about he made points. That's all I got to say, man. He made some good points. Jeremy, are you ready to defend why he went for Harvey instead of his girlfriend that he loves so much? Okay. All right. Get ready. Set. Go.
As I mentioned earlier, Logan's a great movie until the end when it tries to shoehorn in the X-Men stuff. At the end of the day, you can put Johnny Cash's Hurt into the trailer of your movie and make people believe that it's super serious and super deep, but it's an X-Men movie. Let's be real. And all those kids' powers are whack at the end. Nobody remembers who any of those kids are. Nobody knows who any of the side characters are in Logan, except for, obviously, Daphne Keane as X-23 and Patrick Stewart as Xavier and Wolverine as Logan. But the script is
a lot of names.
It took us many years to get to a point where these characters were well developed. Within the movie itself, it's hard to say how effective it would have been if this was a one-off. We had 20 years, almost, something like that. Something like 20 years with each of those characters. So we've had a lot of time to emotionally invest in them. But the thing is, there's a lot more philosophical stuff going on in The Dark Knight than just being a Batman movie. This is a movie about Batman being an idea and that idea itself being challenged by chaos. And I think that that's really fascinating. I think that there's a little bit more intellectual meat to chew on in this because the themes of Logan, they're pretty universal. Everybody gets old, everybody dies, but how many times do we need to see Professor X die? Like, this isn't the first movie where Professor X has been killed off. And then again, like, what's killing Logan? Adamantium? I thought that was his power. So he's getting poisoned by his power. And then the adamantium bullet is supposed to kill him, but the Reavers don't use adamantium. But he got shot by a Stryker like 3 or 4 times in the head by an adamantium bullet in X-Men Origins, but that didn't kill him. It just conveniently made him have memory loss. So while there are some really strong things in X-Men, let's be honest, Logan had this arc in X1. He was already the reluctant father figure.
Jeremy.
Man, give me more time, bro. Come on.
No more time.
Let's go.
Your time is up.
All right.
Time is up. Whoa, Jeremy. Jeremy's comeback, brother, I ain't gonna lie, was really, really good. He said X-Men had 20 years to get it right. 20 years, Joe Biden. You had that time to get it right. You did.
So did Batman.
So, yeah, he had this whole time to get it right. He said your characters, besides Professor Xavier, besides the clone, besides
the main side characters.
But he did make a point. He did make a point. There's a lot of characters in this movie. I do not know their names. And, the kids and the bad guys. That was a very good point. So, yes, I agree with a lot of things you guys said right there. So this is a very, very close argument. Very close debate. All right, we're going to wrap this up now with your closing arguments. And I believe Alex went first this time, so we're going to let Jeremy start off with the closing arguments. Jeremy, close us out, man. What is your closing statements about your movie? Ready? Go!
Alex has made some fantastic points about what makes Logan a good movie. I mean, it's a reminder to me about all of the awesome scenes that are in this movie. There was a point that was brought up about memorable scenes in the Batman Dark Knight. Let's talk about the magic trick. Let's
Pencil disappear.
talk about all the quotable lines and all the memes that have come out of it. Let's talk about the Bat Cycle scene where Joker's standing in the middle of the road with the shotgun. Let's talk about the hospital scene where he blows it up. Let's talk about the scene where he speaks with Harvey Dent / Two-Face. This isn't a movie, and this is true of all Christopher Nolan movies, that is so much about the emotional pathos. It's a little bit more like surgical precision. It's a little bit more about the brain than it is about the heart. I think that when we talk about strong side characters in a script, all of the characters in The Dark Knight are memorable. You can't sleep on Alfred, played by Michael Caine, Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman, Commissioner Gordon, played by Gary Oldman, Maggie Gyllenhaal playing Rachel, it's whatever, Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent. I mean, dude, this movie is iconic for a reason. It is transcended the superhero genre. It's not beholden to it because Batman's stories allow us for a more realistic take on the material, and it lets us live in this world. We don't need superheroes. We don't need kids with powers to make weeds grow fast or whatever the powers those kids have are. What we have is a strong character with a strong villain, and guess what? The villain that Batman fights ain't Batman, so that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? At least we get an actual villain instead of X-24, which is another Logan clone. Great. That's what everybody in this movie is, apparently. I mean, like, the Daphne Keene being a clone of Logan, and then the X-24 being a clone of Logan. It's just like they didn't know how to give him a worthy adversary. They should have went with Sabretooth. 2 minutes,
we're done. Shut up. Stop it.
Should have went with Sabretooth.
That's it. Point taking off. Okay. Alex, he dug in, man. He done. He said this cast is more iconic. You know, it's more memorable, more memeable, and more quotable. It's an iconic movie. Can't take that away from it. Alex, what is your closing statements? Ready? Go!
I want to point out what Jeremy said, that, you know, he did make some great points, and there are some memorable things in The Dark Knight. But in this particular movie, Logan, the enemy that he's dealing with is himself. He's dealing with the fact that I am not invincible anymore. I'm watching the closest thing I had to my father die for the last time. I have a daughter that I don't know how to deal with. And my last final words to her is that you don't have to fight anymore. And in that scene where he just dies and just basically passes the mantle to her, she has to now live out her life with these random kids to make sure that they get to safety. I will say that The Dark Knight, yes, has a stacked cast. But at the end of the day, when I look at who Batman is supposed to be, if you look at every previous Batman film, not prior to Batman Begins, essentially, in comparison, they were trash. Because they did take about 20 years to get it right. And Nolan was the only one who really got the true arc of Batman, the detective, the whoop-asser, and just the great being of that character. With Logan, this is the first time where we see Logan ripped off the comics. Vicious, vulnerable, has a heart, and at the same time, he doesn't know how to deal with this stuff mentally. Yes, Logan, in a lot of ways was the I guess the baby of the Dark Knight. But if it wasn't for the Dark Knight, I can acknowledge we wouldn't have Logan. But because of the Dark Knight, we got Logan, and it is a better film than the Dark Knight because it addresses action, mental state, and a whole lot of emotional elements that a man who's never dealt with that has to now deal with. So that's my final statement.
Ooh, with 2 seconds to spare. Good job, brother. Good job. All right. That wraps up the final thoughts, the closing arguments. Both of you guys did really good. This might be my favorite debate right here just because of how close it was. So close. So close. And I think this is how close it is. I think you both made the best point about each other. And it took 20 years for both years to get it right.
Yeah.
He said that about The Dark Knight, and he said that about Logan. And you're both not wrong. So I think this is what the main debate is. Like, who got it better right after 20 years? All right. Beginning statements. I believe you both won that one. I can't even tell you who won that one. You both argued that one strong. I couldn't tell you who did it better. Good job, both of you. You both get a point. Second one, man, I'm going to give that to Alex. I think Alex gave me a little bit more when it came to, like, why he felt this movie was better. Jeremy, you gave me good points about the production and, like, you know, everything that went around the movie and why it was filmed great. But, like, you missed a good opportunity to tell me the more iconic moments, which that movie has a lot of iconic moments. But, you know, you just told me about the production and the writing, which is cool. That is what makes a great movie. And if that's how you felt, that's how you felt. Third round, I'm going to give that one to Jeremy. Jeremy just argued that a little bit better, and I think he came from the juggernaut. He wanted to uppercut you with that one, brother.
Oh, yeah,
so
he
that
did.
makes...
He got me.
He did get you on that one. But yeah, I think now I have to tell you who won the closing arguments. And man, this is close. I want to say both of you guys, seriously. It's not one that I'm just like sold on because I can see from both sides who got this closing argument a little bit better.
2 hours later.
Sorry, I'm having a battle in my mind right now.
I love it.
6 hours later.
Oh, God.
The suspense is killing me.
It's killing me, too.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Ready, Ian? Go! Okay, so I think the problem with Alex's last statement is because he was repeating a little bit of what he already said. The problem with Jeremy's last statement is same thing. You kind of repeated the same stuff as well. It kind of didn't steer me either way. That's why it's so hard.
12 o'clock midnight.
Good intro. Shit. This is why it's hard to be a moderator. This is why it's hard. And I'm so glad you were great contestants to make me think. I'm glad you didn't talk over each other. I'm glad I didn't have to say, hey, chill out, guys. Be quiet. You know?
Which you did anyways.
I did.
That's what I appreciate about you.
Oh, my God.
All right. For that old guard reference, I'm going to have to say, I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Talking good about it, too, bro.
I think I actually am going to have to give this one to Alex. I think Alex... I think Alex's his second argument just took everybody out. He just He did. And you know, it was not easy because I was just going back in my head like, was it Jeremy? Was it Alex? You know, I think Alex with his second round, man, really sold me. I couldn't stop thinking about how good his second round is. Now, you did have a good third round, brother. You did. But I just don't think it was up there with that. But that last round, it really had me like going. I had to think back to what made, you know, my choices right there. So congratulations, Alex. You won by a little bit.
That well earned, dude.
But I will say this, and I think Jeremy kind of hit on it. If he would have hit on it a little bit better, I might have gave it to Jeremy. What was even the villain's name in Logan? You know, we know the villain's name in Dark Knight. Honest, if Jeremy would have hit that point a little bit more, I think I would have gave it to Jeremy.
I forgot because like
see you exactly.
I forgot, so that's why I said his main villain is himself.
That's a really good point, dude.
That was a good
You nailed
save.
that. Yeah.
And I had to think about that. I was like, if Jeremy would have pushed you with that, boy, he would have got you good, bruh. And that's what I would have did. But the fact that you saved it with him fighting himself, that I could tell that you didn't know, but you saved your ass with that answer.
Yeah,
Good
really
save. Good save. But Jeremy, man, if you would have hit him with that, it would have been over.
Can I say
Because I
real
don't know.
quick? I
Say
want
what?
to say real quick, and I know this is like obligatory at the end of every one of these episodes. We say good game, but I feel like, and this is my perspective, that Alex sold me. Like, if I didn't know me or Alex, and somebody had both the DVDs in their hand, and one person was telling you to watch a movie the way that Alex said it, and then one person was telling me to watch a movie the way that I said it, I would have grabbed Logan. He sold, like, there was a more emotional connection to it with him. So well fought, brother. Like, you really did earn that W.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This fight was like the heart versus the brain. I think Jeremy brought a lot of logical stuff, but I think you brought a lot more heart. And you know, the heart when it comes to movies, man, we're all about our hearts. What moves us. So.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly thought, and I do appreciate it, but Jeremy fought a good fight. When he did that third round, I was a little bit discouraged because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to flip this at all. Because when I think about it, I'm like, The Dark Knight, because when you brought up the memorable cast, I was like, look, aside for the 3 side characters, what the hell? Like, I'm screwed at this point.
That's why I said that was an uppercut, brother. When he said, like, you know, all these, you know, stellar iconic names and all these iconic moments, you know, I was waiting for that from you, and all we got is Hugh Jackman, honestly, and Patrick Stewart. You know,
all those people you named, all of them been nominated for an Oscar, and I was just like, oh my god, like I don't know what I'm going to do.
That was a good hit. That was Jeremy coming back, man. But you know, the verdict's done, and I've said what I said. All right. So this winner is Alex. Next time it's gonna be me versus Jeremy, and I'm coming for blood. Jeremy, I apologize for making you lose.
That's fine. Cool,
but you know, it was good. It was a good fight, and I can't
give it up my show. Fuck y'all.
But thank you guys so much for watching this suspenseful debate. I'm not gonna lie, I've literally, I watched the movie. I watched both movies again, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off, but I did, and I'm glad I got the W. But I have to say, Jeremy's a formidable opponent. He's amazing. Now, it's funny. All of us have beaten each other once. All of us have beaten each other once. And like I said in the last debate, there will be other contestants. But next week will be Ian versus Jeremy. They're definitely going to pick their topics. And we'll let you guys know what those topics are. I'm going to be moderating. And, man, I can't wait to see the sudden death match between Jeremy and Ian. Because last time, it was a very upsetting match. But this time, I have a feeling that this one's going to be amazing. So, thank you guys.
Hopefully, we'll
so
pick
much.
something I've watched. So, we'll do that.
Yo, is it come out on Friday, right?
Every Friday.
All right, awesome. I'll be keeping an eye out for it. I can't wait for this Friday because we got a good one in the pipe.
Yeah, this Friday we have our first debut, and next Friday will be this match. So I can't wait to debut it. But I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show. Ian, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at I_controversy, and you can also find me at youtube.com/thecontroversy. And I was about to say we're going live tonight, but this is pre-recorded. So every Tuesday usually we go live. So check us out, man. Join the discussion.
Awesome. And Jeremy, where can we find you on YouTube and social media?
Man, I'm glad you brought that up, Ian. 6 p.m. CST every Thursday. I live stream on Movies Are Terrible on YouTube. If you're not watching me on YouTube, then check out FloridaMan.com or this week's cover of Mugshot Magazine, baby. Woo!
All right. Shout out to Meth.
Okay. And this debate was so much fun, guys. So much better than a presidential debate. But at the end of the day,
hands down,
we had so much fun. And if you guys want to be a part of what we're doing, all you have to do is just be a subscriber, like what we're doing, go to our different pages. We put out great stuff in between all three of us. So if you really want to support what we're doing, just watch the content, and I promise you, you'll be into something that's so amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, you have a blessed day.